All right, everybody, we're back, and today we are with my man, Doug Dept. It's real. He's here.
Yes,
I really mean it. Doug, thanks so much for coming on.
Absolutely,
I'm so excited about that.
One message for the world, bro. Thanks for having me.
My God, I
Yes,
appreciate you. And so, Doug, and for those of you, my listeners that don't know, big rental guy, started out in Philly. Now you have probably rentals all over the place.
Right.
Can you tell us how you really got into this and really got started?
So we'll take it way back, man.
Yeah.
So like, for instance, my brother was actually incarcerated. So he was in a place called Graterford. And this is back in elementary school. So every single Sunday I would go visit my brother. And it was a traumatizing experience, to be honest with you.
I couldn't imagine.
Yeah, we're talking about, you go through the guard, they pat you down, wait for one door to close for the next one to open. So my parents had to figure out a way how to make this less traumatizing for me. So what we did was we actually went to open houses every single Sunday. So we're going to these open houses, and we're talking about they had the free cookies, they had the games in the game room, get to run around the house and see these huge houses. So what that did was that actually planted a seed that, one day I wanted to own a house, right?
Okay.
So to kind of fast forward, I played some basketball. So I got recruited by a place called Germantown Academy, a great high school in the Philadelphia area, but they recruited me in 5th grade. And went to the school, and this was like super wealthy school, right? So we're talking about kids get the Range Rovers at 16, the bar and bat mitzvahs, the limo service to and from school, which is crazy, right?
Yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah. Then they're even, I didn't even know you could do this, but you could rent out professional basketball players. So like Allen Iverson was coming to like one of the kids' birthday parties. That is like in his prime. So it was crazy, right? So what I realized was that a lot of the parents had a commonality of owning real estate, right? Be it the beach houses, their shore houses, the cabin houses, the apartments, the car lots. So then I just became fascinated by that, and my dad gave me a book very early in 7th grade called The Richest Man in Babylon. And this book,
I've read that.
You read that book? Oh man,
you know what?
favorite.
That really helped me out a lot.
Yeah,
that really like how to break down my money and stuff. I was running around crazy.
Right,
I read that.
Yeah, so that's like the core principles to money. So I didn't understand the book in 7th grade. I had to read it later on because it was like an old English and so forth.
I can't believe you read that in 7th grade.
Yeah,
You something else. This guy. I mean, what the heck?
Yeah, bro. So it was like I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. So long story short, went to University of Delaware, finished in 3.5 years. Got a degree in finance. So right after college, they hired me at Bank of America. It was like a leadership rotational program.
Okay.
So they selected 5 of us from the University of Delaware. I was one of the 5. And our first day at the job, we're going up the elevator. And we get off it's in Wilmington, Bryce Bridge, 6th floor. We get off the elevator, but there's a lady. She's carrying a box. She's in tears. She's crying. So I pull Amy over to the side. She was HR. And I said, Amy, like, what's going on? Like, why is she crying? Oh, we just had massive layoffs. Now, mind you, this was 2008, so like the economy was in shambles, foreclosures through the roof. So this was a heck of a time to enter the job market.
And you're happy that you have a job.
Yeah, I'm just so happy to have a job. But to see this lady crying, she gave the bank probably about 20 years. She was high earner. She had kids in college. She had a mortgage to pay, car payment, and so forth. So when I saw the job, just like, just one of those things, just laid her off, it kind of got me to thinking, right? It's like, all right, do I want to be hugging this cubicle till I'm 67 and a half, put myself in a position where, there's a saying that I live by, if you give permission for somebody to feed you, then you also give permission for somebody to starve you, right?
That's spicy, Doug.
Yeah, so now it's like, all right, well, I see this lady get fired. They didn't care about her. She's just an FTE because, as I learned in finance, when things get tight, they got to cut the bottom line. They got to cut expenses, right? So immediately the biggest line item is FTE, full-time equivalent staff. So they're looking at those salaries and say, okay, where can we trim the fat? So if they're able to get rid of Amy at $200,000 and bring me on making $50,000, they can get 4 of me, train us up, so that way we could replace Amy, right? So they almost get 4 people for the price of 1. So now I'm graduated school and I got my first apartment, living with my girlfriend at the time. And I said, you know what? I don't want to rent. I don't want to spend thousands and thousands of dollars going to somebody else's pocket. So she's like, what do you want to do? I said, I want to buy my first property. So we rented for a year right there in Wilmington on the riverfront. Okay. So I found a property, and I used something called the FHA loan program. Have you heard of it before?
I've heard of it. Yeah.
So that's where we put 3.5% down of the purchase price, and then they'll cover the rest. The government will actually cover the rest, right? Give you a mortgage. It's a great way to get into the game. So I bought that first property, Newark, Delaware, right there by Christiana Mall, not too far from University of Delaware. But with this property, you know, I had 4 bedrooms. So 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. And I'm with my girlfriend in the morning. I wake up and I say, you know what? I don't want to pay this mortgage. So what do you mean? You got to pay this mortgage. So I don't want to pay it. I want somebody else to pay. It's like, what do you mean? I want to rent these rooms out. Because we have 4 bedrooms, 3.5 baths. And we just got out of college. So we're used to having roommates. So she's like, oh, all right, well, if you rent the rooms out, can't have a girl our age living in the property, which is, you know, that's understandable.
Of course,
right?
man.
Right? right. You know, don't want to.
But she was cool with this, though?
So
way.
didn't let the girl our age live there. Didn't want a guy our age living there as well, which is understandable. Didn't want a creepy old man staying in the property either, also understandable. So my hands are literally tied behind my back, bro. So I went on Craigslist. Craigslist, like, there's a lot of deals on Craigslist. I love Craigslist, but
still
to this day, bro. Don't sleep on Craigslist, man.
People say you can sell deals on Craigslist, and
I got some of my best deals on Craigslist.
look at this.
Yep.
Don't sleep on the Craigslist, boys. You got a deal. Put it up there. Hey,
Absolutely. I'll buy it. Yeah. I'm up early in the morning looking at other scourging Craigslist. I got my alert set and everything. So I was able to find this retired grandmother.
All right.
That was willing to pay me $750 to stay in there's a townhome, 3-story. So as you go in past the garage, there's a room with their own bathroom, exit to the backyard. So she was able to pay $750. My mortgage, mind you, is $1,300. So I'm like, all right, $750. So she's paying more than half my mortgage. So now I'm like, all right. I wake up another morning. We have 2 more rooms across the hall. I was like, we got to rent these rooms out. So what do you mean? We're crazy. There's no way to rent these rooms out across the hall. So I was like, I woke up one morning. Yeah, she's giving me so much friction, so much resistance. So I asked her, do you want to be rich or do you want to be poor? Guess what she said?
I don't know what she said.
She said she was okay being poor.
All right. I respect that. Yeah, I
sure.
do.
Yeah, I appreciate her, coming forward and let me know. But I seen too much.
Yeah.
Like, I went to the private school. I saw the limos. I saw the jets. I saw the drivers. I saw written out. I seen too much. So with that, I'm going down, up 95 actually, going back to Wilmington to go to work. I'm like, I'm at the water cooler pacing back and forth. I call my brother. I was like, yo, bro, like, she said she's okay being poor, but I'm not okay with that. He's like, I'll just ride it out. Of course, he said he just got out of prison.
Yeah.
So I said, no, I can't ride
this
out.
see what you've seen.
Yeah, he hasn't seen what I've seen. But then I get home and I say, you know what? It's not going to work. So I gave her a 2-week notice.
Sure.
Yeah, I gave her a 2-week notice. It's not going to work. So you got 2 weeks, the relationship's over, pack all your stuff up, and, we got to go our separate ways.
Yeah.
Because, again, it's like I didn't come here just to hug the cubicle till I'm 67 and a half.
No.
I need freedom. I need mobility. And if you're okay just being right here at this level, I'm trying to go up here, we're not evenly yoked. It's not going to work out.
Of course not.
Yeah, so
they could never.
Yeah, so we dated for 3 years, and it was a tough decision to make, but it was that decision that really changed my life. So now 2 weeks, fast forward 2 weeks, she's going down the stairs. She's in tears, but I got these 2 guys from Las Vegas. They were working at the Venetian, but now they were getting hired as poker dealers at Delaware Park, the casino. So they're coming up the stairs, and now they're each paying me $650 coming in. So now I'm single. I'm living in this master suite. I got the soaking tub, the stand-up shower, the balcony, the walk-in closet. And I'm like, at 24 years old, I don't need this. So guess what I did, bro?
Actually, it's on social media. Tell these people this is not animal.
Oh, man. So I took the king bed, put in my 2-car garage, and that's where I lived for 3.5 years. So now I rented out the master for $750. So I still got grandma downstairs, still got the 2 guys from Vegas. Now I got this guy from, he was actually an English teacher from University of Delaware, and that's $750. So now we got $750, $650 coming in. So now my mortgage is covered, and I'm walking away with $1,500 clear, tax-free, or not tax-free, but clear. That's my profit.
Yeah.
But I'm still working at Bank of America as a financial analyst. I'm working up the ranks. I'm senior financial analyst. They're bumping me up and so forth. But this is all while living in the garage, living for free. I told everybody.
Oh, didn't you really? That's so gangster, bro.
I'm living in the garage. I got these random guys off Craigslist. They were trying to talk me out of it, bro. They were like, man, don't buy real estate. What if they poison your milk? What they do this? What did they wake up and they kill you in the middle of the night? Yeah. All this stuff. I said, man, listen, I got goals. I'm trying to not be hugging this cubicle till I'm 67 and a half. I've seen what corporate will do to people. So I'm literally there renting out the rooms, and now since I'm living for free, plus an extra $1,500, and that's enough to cover all my expenses, 100% of my money coming in from Bank of America I'm able to put that into investments.
Yeah.
So now, I was trading stocks, so I'm putting money into the stock market, money market account. Then when it comes time to buy a piece of real estate, I'm putting 10 to 20% down to buy the real estate. Then the cash flow coming from the real estate, I'm putting that back into that savings investment account. And I'm running that cycle over and over and over again. One of the biggest things that most people mess up on, even when they get raises from the job, or even if they increase their expenses or increase their revenue, like for instance, as I'm adding rental properties, I'm increasing my cash flow. But most people, they fall into the trap, and the trap being they want to get the bigger house, the bigger car, more watches, more trips, and so forth, right? Because they're making more money.
Yeah.
But now as a result, in corporate America, they love when you are getting these things, because what it does is basically like he's going to show up Monday because he has to.
Yeah, he's further enslaving himself into this whole little game.
Right. So so as they give you a raise, you start increasing your expenses. They give you another raise next year, you're increasing your expenses.
Yeah.
So now it's like, I got to show up to the job. I'm relying on this job. So now even when I'm showing people how to make an extra $10,000 a month, $20,000 a month, I always tell them, keep your expenses low, right? Just live below your means. Like I love being like the millionaire next door. So that's one of the books that I live by.
Okay.
And that's really been helpful. And so that's really how I got started in real estate. So literally just buying up properties, taking that money saved, and then I was just buying them 10, 20% down. But what would happen would be my cash would get depleted. So I buy property.
Of course.
My cash is up here, it gets depleted. I buy another property that year, cash gets depleted. Cash just get depleted. So now I have to wait until that cash builds back up through the cash flow, through my job, and so forth. But once the cash builds up, then I buy more properties, it gets depleted again. So it wasn't until I learned this crazy strategy by accident. And I'll tell you the quick story, right? So there's this guy, I'm not going to mention his name, but he basically wholesaled me a property in North Philly for $25,000, right? And he said, hey, I'll do the construction for $75,000. Cool, no problem. And I'm typically, I'm a finance guy, so I typically get loans and so forth. He's like, hey, if you got the cash, you should just do this deal cash. I said, all right, you know what? I have the cash. I'm trying something new. This is where we're actually doing the full gut renovations and so forth. Because before I was buying stuff turnkey out in Coatesville. So when I hop in the deal, we go get title insurance. Always got to get title insurance. There's a lot of sneaky people out there, man.
Oh my goodness! Yeah, you have to get insurance.
Yeah, always get title insurance.
You have to. Yeah.
Yep. So with this deal, $25,000. So I pulled it out the bank. We actually wired it over to the title company. Got the deal, and then he was doing the construction for me. He's like, hey Doug, we got the guys. They're doing demos. I gave him a hefty amount up front. They're doing a demo. It's something I've never seen before.
You gave him a hefty amount up front?
Hefty amount
I
up
know
front.
where this is going already. We've all done this with different things.
Yeah. So demo's rolling, man. I mean, they're ripping the roof off, the joists. They take it. I've never seen it before. They took the whole back wall out. So he's like, hey, man, we need more money for framing. So I'm giving them money, shelling out. So look up. Of the $75,000 budget, I basically gave him $70,000 cash. So you can only imagine what happened next. Project got delayed. It's this person's birthday, that person's funeral, Big Tank. I still to this day don't know who Big Tank is, but that was one of the reasons why my money got held up, because he had some party. Big Tank. I'm like, who's Big Tank? What's he got to do? This was back when the Pope came to Philadelphia, so that was one of the excuses. So it just got crazy to the point where literally I learned every stage of construction, because over that 2 years, my $100,000 was tied up. And that
2 years?
2 years, bro. 2
Oh,
years.
my God.
Project was only about 900 square foot, 2-bedroom house in the middle of North Philly. So I just got my gun license, so you can only imagine. I had some crazy thoughts. I was like,
you had them, You're trying to, like, don't crash out.
Yeah, right,
don't crash out. Yeah.
Seriously, bro. So it was like, but I'm thankful for that experience. It was painful going through it, believe me.
I could imagine.
When my cash is depleted, so I had to make a pivotal moment. Do I give up on real estate, or do I keep going? Right. However, if I wanted to keep going, I have no cash now because it's all tied up.
You got to run it back up.
I had to find alternative ways, right? So that's when I got into buying properties with balance transfers on credit cards, getting business lines of credit, right? And being able to tap into OPM, other people's money. So that way I was still able to acquire assets during those 2 years. And then eventually, once that project got done, I was able to go ahead, fix it up, get it tenanted. And then this is when I did a refinance of the property, because the property is worth about $170,000. So I got all my initial $100,000 back in cash, tax-free. And now I was able to continue to maneuver and so forth. But the valuable lesson was I never want to give somebody that much control of my projects ever again. And that's why I became my own general contractor.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oversee everything. Make sure
Oversee everything. And then I learned how to make some money being my own general contractor as well, which is crazy. Yeah.
And now, you know the process so well. If you do hire a general contractor, you can tell immediately, that doesn't smell right, that doesn't smell right, you're done, bring in a new guy.
Yeah, exactly. Yep. So you can hire hire quick or slow to hire, fast to fire.
I like that. You got to be real quick to fire.
Yeah, you got to, man. You got to. Yep, time is money.
Heck yeah. So you just, once that clicked, then you could use other people's money to start buying these properties, and that's just what you took off and used ever since.
Yeah. So basically, I've been specializing in buying properties that are undervalued. So I'll tap into guys like wholesalers. I'll go on Craigslist. I'll even find motivated sellers. I used to do the door knockers or the little signs and so forth. So once I really got good at just analyzing a deal as fast and quickly as possible, because I take pride in being able to analyze a deal in about 90 seconds or less. And that's why I teach a lot of my mentees, a lot of my students, how to go about analyzing deals as fast as possible and giving that wholesaler as feedback right away, right? Because everyone hates, you send them a deal, hey, what do you think about it? People take weeks and weeks to get back to you.
Very frustrating.
Yeah, by then, those deals are already gone if they're good deals, right? They're already sold. Yes. So in the game, to make the most money, you have to be able to move with speed and urgency. So if I'm getting a deal from you, I need to analyze that deal as fast as possible, because if it's a good deal, I'm going to have to move fast on it because there's going to be someone else that realizes that's a good deal. So that's what I really pride myself on, is being able to analyze and understand the numbers. So I got these special spreadsheets, very easy to key information in. And they'll spit out good deal, bad deal, or it'll even say, hey, this is the maximum that you could pay for this deal, even though they want this. Now this is what you have to negotiate in order for that deal to make sense. So these are just some things that I use that help me to be able to move quickly, speed and urgency, and then wholesalers and people I'm buying deals from, they like that because they're like, Doug's serious. And, if I send him a deal, he's either going to give me feedback, hey, I need this price $20,000 lower. Here's why. If that works for you, great. But if not, then, we got to
Then it works. We do another one.
Yeah, exactly.
As a wholesaler, oh my goodness, I don't care if you buy it or you don't. I care that you get back to me. So a lot of people just don't get back.
Yeah, they just ghost you. It's like,
then you sell it to somebody else, and they'll be in the way that you sold it to somebody else. But I sent it to you. What are you talking about?
Exactly. You got to get the deal closed. Yep.
Exactly. He was really serious about it, and you didn't really care. What are you talking about?
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, man, it's just so I think really with just like building real estate is just having, like, being able to wake up in the morning and like set your goals, right? And I literally breathe, eat, sleep this. So it's real, like, if you want to go ahead and move, you have to, man. You have to be willing to put in the work as well. A lot of people have the cheat code where they can learn from it. So I know you mentioned that, you got some mentorship and you've seen your businesses 2X, 3X, 10X, right?
At least this year.
Yeah, so that's like the cheat code. And to be honest with you, I wish I would have done that a lot sooner. I would have been even further than where I am today. But I'm one of those guys likes to go through the process, takes all the bumps and bruises, a lot of sleepless nights, a lot of lost money. But I learned from that experience. But now I'm in a situation where I could put that and teach the formula, the blueprint to somebody else, so that way they don't have to go through all that and they can move a lot faster than I was able to.
Yeah, and they don't have to spend as much money.
Right, exactly.
Oh my goodness! If I started listening, if I got coaching before, I would have saved.
Oh man!
So much. The amount of money is crazy that I would have saved.
Oh man, yeah, it's wild.
But it is what it is. You can't cry over spilled milk.
Exactly. You just got to keep moving forward. Keep going.
Keep moving forward.
Yep.
Let me ask, what the heck are you saying with credit cards, by the way, the balance transfer? Boone was talking to me a little bit about that also.
Yep. So, when you have a credit card, you get these things in the mail, right? It's a blank check, and most people just shred them. They're like, I don't know why this credit card company sending me a check. Mind you, I used to work in Bank of America, and I used to oversee the credit card division, the home loan division, and the deposit division. I was on the controller team. But with these credit card companies, they give you this balance transfer. So let's say, for instance, you sign up for the Citibank credit card.
Okay.
Right? And brand new customer, and they send you these balance transfer checks. And they usually attach something called a teaser rate for them on those balance transfers. So what a teaser rate is like, hey, you have 0 interest for 12 or 18 months. And the idea is they want to be able to take a balance from, say, Chase Bank and bring it over to Citibank. And the way they do that is through these balance transfers. So now if you have a balance on Chase, and let's say it's a $10,000 balance, you're paying 15% interest. So it's like, why not take your check, write $10,000, put in your bank account, and then pay off Chase that $10,000. So now you're no longer paying that 15% interest. Now you're paying 0% interest for 18 months.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a wise financial decision. Why pay that interest if you're not ready to pay that full balance? But now what happens if you don't have that $10,000 balance with Chase, but you are able to write that check and put it in your account? So now you would have $10,000 in your checking account to do as you please, essentially. So now you can use that as your down payment. You could buy a house with that, and then you have 12 to 18 months to pay that back.
Zero interest.
Zero interest. So now I was in a situation where I went out to Coatesville, picked up a property for $26,000 on the balance transfer, put about $5,000 to fix it up. So literally everything was done with the balance transfer. Then what was left over for the purchases of the construction materials, paying the contractor, was done on the credit card at 0% interest.
Get a hard money loan.
Right. So now we were able to buy that property, fix it up, rent it. Now that property, at that time, it was worth about like $80,000. So what I do, I took it to Coatesville Savings Bank, got a cash out refinance. I was in the decision, and let me know what you would do. You finish the project in 3 months. You have, about $24,000, or really about, say, $30,000 used on the credit card at 0% interest. So now 3 months, I still got, 15 months to go. So do I pay off that credit card in full, or do I roll into another deal? What would you do?
Do another deal.
Another deal, exactly. So there's literally a deal right down the street, a little more money because it didn't need to be fixed up at $50,000. Since I already got the other one appraised down the street, I bought that cash with the money from the cash out refi, all from that balance transfer. Bought that cash, then immediately rented it out and got that refinance. So I got the money back. So now I'm like 6-7 months in with another 7-8 months on that balance transfer. So we just ran another deal. So that's just a way where you're kind of thinking outside the box. And the reason why I had to think outside the box was because I had that $100,000 tied up.
Yeah.
And so that really just opened me up to a whole new world.
It's the best thing that happened to you.
Yeah, yep.
For real?
Yeah, that's for sure. Because I wouldn't know about being my own general contractor. I'm talking about probably put an extra, over the course of me learning that, probably put an extra $1 million in my pocket by being my own general contractor.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, because when you look at real estate, there's markups, right? So a general contractor will mark things up anywhere between 10 to 50%. So now, let's say when I'm going into my lender, and I have myself as a general contractor, my construction budget is still what a general contractor would charge, but I have the guys and the subs to get things done for a fraction of the cost. So let's say my construction budget is $100,000, but I get it done for $60,000. That extra $40,000 is going in my pocket. So now if we're running multiple deals at a time during the year, that could add up very quickly. Yeah. So if you have 10 deals at $40,000 you're clipping as a GC, that's $400,000 you're putting in your pocket for fixing up your own properties where you're going to get cash flow every month, where you're going to put yourself in a situation to win.
Yeah. That's a good laugh.
Yeah. Oh, man. It's like an affiliate barely costs you anything to be a general contractor. So you can basically be a GC.
Oh, they're giving those licenses out. Be careful, boys.
For under $1,200 a month. So you can literally take $1,200, turn it into $400,000 with just knowing what to do.
All right. And do you still do all your own projects? You still GC?
Yeah, yep. So I'm still GCing my projects. Even out in my projects out Midwest, I'm GCing those as well to this day.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
You have somebody go there with on the FaceTime.
Yep. Sub everything up. Yep, FaceTime. And I'm in control of the money, the funds, and so forth. Okay. And we're using the same exact strategy, buying properties undervalued, fixing them up. And what's nice over there in the Midwest is the fact that this property is not like Philadelphia where there are disasters. A lot of the ones that need, a lot of fixing up. The roof's caving in and so forth. Whereas these are like, you go in with some new paint, LED lights, refinish the floors. Now you're putting yourself in a situation where you can tap into a substantial amount of funds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, bro. It's
the Midwest?
Midwest, man. Midwest. Yeah. I don't want to disclose exact location. I kind of keep that in.
You don't want to get it too high.
Yeah. Let me run up a couple of M's out there first before we go too crazy.
Before we tell everybody where we're at. That's fun.
That's it.
That's good stuff.
Yeah.
So how much are you buying right now? How many properties would you say you're getting a month?
Yes, I just picked up 25 properties. So that I was out in the Midwest portfolio. Yep. So picked out 25. All came in right around $1.4 million.
Okay. Is it a portfolio all once then?
No, we actually, some were from wholesalers, MLS, some were from, Craigslist. But I was able to
You
schedule.
blew my mind with the Craigslist.
Yeah,
I've never
yeah,
posted
yeah.
on there. I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it.
Bro, so I did it in two transactions because I tried to coordinate all the dates of closing to be on the same day. And I have a lender that's able to basically bundle all the properties together into one loan. Yep. So now that allowed me to, and then I have that construction budget. So let's say, for instance, 25 properties, average construction budget is about 10 grand. But the average true cost.
Wild, really?
Yeah, bro,
that's unheard in Philly. No way.
Yeah, it's not happening.
You better have at least 40 racks.
Yeah,
This is how it
yeah,
goes. You have to do the elect, all the stuff.
Exactly. So let's say the average house 10 grand. My true cost on average per house is probably right around like 4-5 grand.
Okay.
So now the extra 5 times 25 is my GC fee.
Yeah.
So now that helps. Yeah, exactly. So that helps offset what it cost me, the money I had to put down to
get it to the
buy
deals.
that deal. Yeah, yep. So now I'm basically getting my money back along the process before I
you
do
even do the
the
refi.
Right.
Bro, that's next. That's really next level. That's really smart.
Yep. So now that portfolio is worth. Appraisals are coming in now because I'm in the middle of refinancing them, but the values are coming in right around like 3.4 collectively.
Okay.
Yep. So basically just churned almost like $1 million of equity. So we're gonna get the cash out, get the initial capital back, as well as some additional on top. I still got to run the numbers, but I think it's about 650 tax-free money on top of what I initially
Paying
put
for
down.
that.
Yeah.
That's a play.
Yep. So it's just knowing the formulas, knowing how to talk to people, knowing how to reach out to wholesalers, build those relationships, analyzing those deals quickly and fast. But it's like once you see that, okay, these properties are undervalued, don't need much work, but properties are selling for this number, as long as there's that spread, there's arbitrage to be made, and and the key is to keep the properties and have that cash flow coming in. So like the average cash flow, even with this going on, the average cash flow is going to be right around $650 to $750 a month because we're partnering with the government.
Okay. That's the only way you can do it.
That's the only way you got it. I don't want anything market tenant. Like if I can't Section 8 it, I don't want it.
I think that's super fair. I don't have any rentals, but I wouldn't consider a self-pay tenant. I know that's probably toxic.
Yeah. It's crazy.
Toxic to say, but I think it's so risky.
Bro, this is too risky.
It's so risky. 2020 showed us very risky.
For instance, there was a time where I always had the majority Section 8, which is beautiful, and that's what carried me through the pandemic when people weren't paying and so forth.
It didn't matter at all to you, probably.
Right? Yeah, it didn't matter. The government never missed a payment.
Yeah.
So we're talking about during national disaster, Katrina, COVID. Government shutdown. The government never missed a payment. They already have funds earmarked, and the government is not going to do anything to take away Section 8 because they need it. People need affordable housing. So just being in the business of providing someone with one of the core things that people need, food, water, and shelter, right? Now at an affordable rate, I'm always going to be in business, and it's going to be a situation where people always are going to be needing affordable housing. And the crazy part is, the rents have gone up tremendously. Like if you look at the last 5 years, rents have increased almost 50 to 75% of what Section 8 is willing to pay. Just year over year from 2003 to 2004, leave it out in the Midwest, and that's one of the reasons why I went out there. The Section 8 rents increased 22%.
That's wild.
So at the
Philly high.
Philly was like right around like 15% increase. For the 2025 rates, depending on what zone you're in, but like 2 and above, like the better zip codes, if you will, they increased anywhere between like $50 to $100 year over year, which is substantial.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's crazy. It's crazy.
Yeah, government rent. That's a good
The guarantee money. Yep.
That's a good partner.
Yeah.
That's the only way you pay cash flow that much.
Yeah. You got to be hooked up with the government, man, on the government payroll.
Yeah. So let me ask you, when you doing the cash out refis, what LTV are you doing?
I typically do 75%.
Okay.
But there's some lenders that go up to 80%, and there's sometimes where I might not even need the cash. I might just go like 70%, 65%. But usually, on average, I'm cashing out 75% of the
Okay. It depends on the lender and it depends on the deal.
Yeah, it depends on the lender. Yep. And a lot of times I use DSCR lenders. They're just fast, efficient. They don't require too much paperwork. So I always recommend people to use them. And that just allows you to scale and grow that much faster.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah, man.
You're smart.
Yeah.
You're smart. You got all the tricks, Doug.
Hey, man, listen, bro. You got to. Like over the years and years of experience since 2009.
Yeah.
You pick up a thing or two.
I bet.
Yeah.
Let me ask, how many rentals do you have now at this point?
Not enough, bro.
That's a good attitude. You probably got like
Not enough, bro.
100.
Not enough, bro. Yeah,
At least 100.
Yeah.
Probably 200 rentals.
Hey, it's not enough.
You were saying.
Because one of the things is as you start counting and so forth, like I see some people that count, they get complacent. Like, oh man, I already got 10. Oh man, 20, 30, 50, 100. But it's like when I wake up and say it's not enough, that means that
You really,
deals.
really not enough.
I need more deals. You're right.
You waking up stressed. Yo,
Stressed,
I
like,
can't
it's
believe
not
I
enough.
don't have enough.
Like, yeah, it's like, well, why are we not at 5,000?
Yeah.
So it's a situation where, you ever played sports?
Yeah, I did. You know what? D1 wrestler in college.
Do you want? All right,
Yeah.
there you go. So were you looking at when you're wrestling? Are you looking at the score like every 5 seconds?
No, you score every 5 seconds.
Right. So I take the same approach when it comes to investing in real estate. I play basketball. So it's like, am I running to the stat and say, hey, how many points do I have? How many assists do I have? No, I'm playing the game. I'm giving them my all, right? So I live by this motto, no scoreboard watching.
Yeah.
Right. And I teach all my students like no scoreboard watching. So as you're getting deals, as you're making things happen, we're not counting score. And with the no scoreboard watching mentality, this allows us to not get complacent and say, all right, what's next? Okay. Sure, it's great to pat yourself on the back for a second, but we got to get back out there the next day, right? We got to keep going. So it's like
short-term memory.
Short-term memory, exactly. So that's what, having that attitude has really helped me continue to keep going, right? Because I could easily got complacent, like, hey, I don't need to pick up these 25 rentals out in the Midwest. I already have X amount of properties. But by me saying I don't have enough, I get out there, like I'm going out there, I'm hopping on a flight. We're gonna see what the market's like. We're gonna tap that market. We're gonna go to the next market. I might go out to Detroit, right? We might go out to Western Pennsylvania, Erie, PA.
They go down to Florida now.
Florida, right? Exactly. Well, exactly. So now by having that attitude, just keeps me hungry.
I love that.
And the key is you got to stay hungry out here.
You got to stay hungry. Doug, thank you so much for coming on, man. I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for coming on. I've had a great time talking to you.
Sure. And then for anybody watching that wants to like tune in, you can follow me on Instagram, Doug, Doug, Dept, Depte. And also you can go to executewithdoug.com. And I have a free like one-on-one session. You can talk to my team if you're interested in building and growing your very own real estate portfolio. I'll see you guys soon.
Let's go.